just go with the flow. I just go with the flow. Just go with the flow. I just go with the flow.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to the Vicious Ransom. Of course, I am your host, your YouTube signing off and imitating. Dupri, Candice, Susan Vicious. We'll go over Raw this week. We're in Hershey, Pennsylvania. Home of some of the best chocolate in the world, hands down. But we're not here to talk about candy, unfortunately, and before we do, we got to talk about big event that did occur, unfortunately, over the course of last week and now, last week's episode and now. Always hate having to talk about this kind of stuff, but the news broke, superstar Billy Graham, he passed away. You know, you say what you want about him. Yeah, he said a lot of shit about a lot of things, and, you know, but you can't argue without Billy Graham. There would have been no Jesse Ventura, and there would have been no Hulk Hogan and such. And, you know, I know a lot of people may make the argument, oh, well, fuck that, I'd be happy with no Hulk Hogan. Okay, well, without no Hulk Hogan, there would have never been no Randy Savage getting to be as elevated at the level he was. Hell, without Hulk Hogan, there would be no Edge. And that's a cold hard truth. Because, you know, unfortunately, it's a cold hard truth. That has to be, that you gotta swallow that pill, kid. And, yeah, but Billy Graham, he was a hell of a cat. You know, I watched a lot of the old classic stuff when I was a kid, and he was always one that just stood out like, whoa. Like he said, I got more colors on me than the rainbow in the sky, daddy. You know, he had a killer look. He could work and could talk people into the buildings. And yeah, you know, so, and it's, you can't argue it. And listen, you can say whatever you want about Billy Graham. Just like no different thing you could say whatever you want about Hulk Hogan or Vader or Undertaker even. But the fact of the matter is, they all those names and more have left a legacy, whether good or bad, and whether for good or bad, influenced a lot of talent that's out there today. So, I'm just going to say, may he be at peace. So, now that we're done going over that, let's switch gears and talk about last week via the SmackDown Rewind. Highlights from last week's SmackDown. It started out with the Bloodline, and by that I mean Roman, Solo, and my savior, Paul Heyman, coming out. Roman getting a whole hell of a lot of boos. No, that's not how we do things here. Acknowledge me. And then he gets the acknowledgement, goes over on how they're going to win at Night of Champions, and out comes KO and Sami. And KO looking like a dog on the chin, like, and Sami like, Owens, and Roman's like, whoa, this is what you want, right? This is what you want. It's what your shirt says. Keep on fighting, fight, that's what you want, right? You want to fight? You want to fight. And then Sami, he gets the mic. You know, I've been waiting for this for a long while. This is the first time you and I have shared a ring since Montreal. And I have been thinking of what to say to you since then. Honestly, I got nothing to say. Because at Night of Champions, it's going to be simple. We're going to win, you're going to lose, and the bloodline is going to fall apart in front of you. And then, Excuse me. And then as they start going on for a little bit, then Roman and Solo and all are leaving. Then the Usos, boom, come out of nowhere, do a sneak attack, beat them up. And then Roman's just like, what are you doing? What are you doing? This was not my plan. This is not my plan. Go, now. Now! Like an angry dad yelling at the kids like, oh, you just made him angry. You should not have made him angry. So yeah. Suffice to say, he gave them both the stern, I'm not mad, I'm just disappointed kind of talk. So now we got, as far as the matches went, we had the Brawling Brutes, Ridge and Butch going against, yes boys, the two most tastiest snacks to arrive on SmackDown, Kit Wilson and Elton Presley, Pretty Deadly. I fucking love Pretty Deadly. I'm not going to even hide it now. A full disclosure, yes, I fucking love them guys. Yeah, this was a damn good match. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Loved Sheamus on commentary. It sounded, you know, he was just going off, firing on all cylinders. And Pretty Deadly got the win with Spilt Milk. Yes, that's the name of their finish. And just, yeah. Asuka wound up Asuka had a match against Zelina Vega. And, okay. I'm fairly certain Triple H is trying to make me have a heart attack right here. Yeah. And damn good. It was pretty good. Short-lived, mind you, but it was good. Asuka got the win. She had like a, kind of like a Rings of Saturn kind of armbar locked in. Refused to let go until eventually Bianca came out, ran down, then she let go, got out the ring. And then Asuka tried to do the mist. Bianca, she got some on her, but nothing on the face to where it justify like an I'm blind kind of shit. So yeah. But, okay, yeah. Nope, not gonna make that joke. Not gonna make that joke. Had one lined up, not gonna. Last thing we need is to have a whole bunch of angry people getting mad at me on that shit. Already got people mad at me over enough things. Moving forward, Street Profits had a tag match going against L.A. Knight, yeah, dummy, yeah, and Rick Boogs, and this is a pretty good match. Street Profits got the win, but the big highlight of the match was afterwards. L.A. Knight helped Boogs up off his feet. You alright? Yeah, good match, good match. Wham! Then takes him down. So yeah, LA Knight winds up stabbing him right in the back after the match. So yeah, dummy. That's what you get. Now then we then we had the debut, the SmackDown debut of Alba Fire and Isla Dawn, and so yeah. Pagans, I didn't realize dark, brooding pagan Scotswomen were a thing for me until that tag team was named. Thanks a lot, Shawn Michaels. Yeah, they made their SmackDown debut against Elysian and Valentina Feroz, and they got the win, obviously. No, not much of a shocker there, but yeah. Also, should note, they're still the NXT Women's Tag Champions, so yeah, that's pretty cool. And then Austin Theory came out, cut a promo on how he's the greatest U.S. champ of all time, this, that, and the other, blah, 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 blah. Then out comes Jimmy, he comes out, Sheamus comes out, and then just says he wants a shot at the title. Nails him, takes him down. They announced that Jimmy's having a match against Theory on this Friday coming up. And then we had the LWO, Rey Mysterio and Santos Escobar going against the Usos. And yeah, this was because last week after Roman addressed the Usos, they saw the LWO laughing and mocking them over on how they pretty much got yelled at by Dad over their failure, and then, so, yeah, now we get this match. Really good match. I thought it was thoroughly good. I was really I was very much so well entertained while watching it. The LWO got the win, and then it ended with just Roman sitting in the back. Just looking more and more annoyed and disappointed. And I can't fucking argue on that. I fucking love it. I'm loving on how they're playing out this story in the Bloodline. So, now with that said, let's get into this week's show. Raw, Hershey. No chocolate, unfortunately. It starts out showing a pre-tape of Cody walking into the building earlier in the day, and then Brock, boom, doing a surprise attack on him out of nowhere, putting him through a table, beating the ever-loving crap out of him. Then, grabbing an empty keg, holding it up, holding it all, as Cody, crawling, pulling himself up, and then just as he's got himself up, wham, slams the keg up against his arm. Fast forward to later on in the show, Cowboy Brock comes out looking to do some Cowboy Brock shit, and then says, I hate to disappoint you all, but Cody is not going to appear at Night of Champions. So this is an open challenge now to anyone that wants to fight me. All you have to do is just come on out and we'll do that. Cody then comes out with his arm in a sling, all iced up, still literally being a one-armed man fighting until Brock, he gets him in the Kimura, has it locked in on him for a bit, telling him, come on, you want to fight me? Fight me, fight me, fight me, fight me, fight me. Puts a little extra torque into it and then walks off. You hear Adam Pearce screaming at the top of his lungs, we need medical attention down here now, now, now. All this, that, and the other, and they play throughout the course of the entire show how Cody's locked himself into it in his dressing room, refusing any kind of medical attention whatsoever. And then they end the show with Cody having a one-on-one conversation with Triple H, of all people, and Hunter telling him, listen, I get it, you're scared. Cody's snapping him, I'm not scared. Oh, you are. You're scared. If one of them doctors come in here and they take a look at that, they're going to say you can't compete. And then you're stuck. And then you're out of luck. Now I want you to think about this. I've seen you go out there fighting Seth in a Hell in a Cell with a torn pec. That is one of the toughest things I've ever seen. But you're going to go out there, you're going to do this, you're going to put your career on the line, you're going to put your life on the line. All for this. And then Cody basically saying, no, if I don't do this, I'm a coward. I'm going to be walking away from this. And I want you of all people to think about this. What would you do? And instantly, my brain thought, well, Hunter literally tore his quadricep off of his bone. Tore the muscle completely off the bone in middle of a match, and instead of just going and staying sidelined throughout the rest of the match, calling for medical, no, what did he do? He said, fuck it, let's finish this, finish the match, and played it out, and then worked the rest of the match, and then was shown, while being assisted, walked to the back, which when doctors saw that, said he should not have medically speaking, he should not have been able to do that. So yeah, that was a big hurt piece right there on Cody's part saying that. But so listen, and I'm not saying this in a bitter, angry kind of way. So, and I know it's gonna probably sound that way. But you watch enough of a particular kind of show, a movie, anything, any form of entertainment for a while, you tend to pick up the pattern, see on how stories are told in it and such. In this case, yeah, you see, Cody's being built to be the scrappy underdog, fighting from, not even from the ground up, below the ground, fighting, punching upward at Brock. So yeah, I get it. It's good storytelling because, hey, guess what? I'm not the one that key part of that story is targeted to. You know who it is? The kids. The kids that are going to be watching. Because I guarantee there's some 5 or 6 year old looking at that thinking, is Cody Rhodes really going to be able to fight? And I guarantee when they see him fight and win, they're going to be jumping for joy. No different than any 6 or 7 year old was than any 6 or 7 year old in the late 80s, early 90s, whenever they saw Hulk Hogan or Randy Savage or any other big time babyface get a huge win. So yeah, now that we're done going over that part, then the show had Paul Heyman in the ring saying, "Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Paul Heyman, and I can assure you I had nothing to do with that," referring to the pre-tape that I just went over. But then Paul started going on how hyping up Night of Champions, on how Solo and Roman are going to win and become champions. And then KO and Sami come out saying, "Oh, no. See, you guys really think that? No. And then Owens throwing out a hurt piece. Now Roman, he wanted to dedicate the win to the Wild Samoans, the greatest tag team ever. So you know what? We are dedicating our win at Night of Champions to the 2 pillars of the bloodline, Jimmy and Jay, the Usos, which, oh, you motherfucker, you are really going to put out that kind of a hurt piece on that. That's just, yeah. Then, as they were done that, then out came Imperium, and then didn't say nothing, just got on all 3 sides and KO and Sami back to back. And then you hear Riddle's music come out, and he runs out and bolts right past Gunther to get in the ring to stand with him. And then big brawl, brouhaha, bang bang boom, they clear the ring, faces stand tall. And then, yeah. Now they already announced earlier in the day that we're going to get a trios match between Imperium, Riddle, Owens, and Sami. We'll get to that match. But first things first match of the night. Ricochet going against Bronson Reed, the big thick boy, and whoo, doggy. Now, right at the start, Reed, he was rolling right through Ricochet. He was steamrolling through him. And Ricochet, he was building up a good bit of a comeback, was trying to work on his one knee, took him down to one knee at a point, and was going good right up until he went to go for a springboard and then slammed the ropes, caught him, hung him out to dry, got him, hit him with a power slam, got up, did the tsunami, 1, 2, 3, your winner, Bronson Reed. Next up, we got women's action, Candice LeRae, which, your reminder, Candice LeRae is tougher than you. Going against having the Raw debut of one Zoey Stark, and right at the start, before Zoey's music's even finished, boom, she rushes, goes full throttle right at Candice, right at the gate. Decent pace, real quick, chance for Zoe to shine. At one point during the match, Nikki Cross then runs down, is ringside cheering Candice on. Come on, Candice, boom, 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 you got it. Candice is building up a comeback, winds up doing a springboard crossbody on the outside, throws Zoey in, and then just as she's about to go in, then Nikki Cross jumping for joy, yay! Then grabs Candice, jumping for joy with her, making her jump for joy, and Candice like, yeah, okay, great. Let me go finish this match now. So she gets in, next thing you know, Stark has the advantage, gets the comeback, then hits her with the Z360, formerly in NXT, Storm Zero, and then the 1, 2, 3, yeah. Next up, we got Alpha Academy going against the Viking Raiders. Solid, good grappling at the start with Gable and Eric, and most people may not know this, but Eric, formerly Ray Rowe on the Independents, he did do wrestling. He did do the kind of Greco-style wrestling when he was like in high school. You know, he talked about that before in interviews. He did. So, yeah, he knows how to. He can grap. But it was a decent match. Gable was the punching bag for a bit, and then Otis got the hot tag, and then the crowd woke up because you could hear it when Gable was the punching bag. We want Otis. But then he got in, crowd lit up, Otis cleaned house, and actually even scoop slammed Ivar, which, like, whoa, okay, that's one big boy picking up another big boy. Like, he's not even a big boy, and I'm not fucking with him. And then Otis, he did the caterpillar, which made Maxxine jump for joy. And then at one point you see Maxxine and Valhalla, formerly Sarah Rowe, start squawking at each other, and then Maxxine runs like a bat out of hell, which I gotta give Maxxine credit for that because she did that whole running away from her bit. Picture fucking perfect, wearing high heels. I don't think I would have been able to. I'm talking about the running, not the whole not wearing high heels part because, there are some parts in my life I'd rather not discuss on here. But either way, decent match. It came to an end when Gable wound up doing a counter roll into a pin onto Eric. Got the 1, 2, 3. So yeah. Next up we got Shinsuke Nakamura going against Finn Balor. And oh, good Lord Almighty. This was New Japan flashbacks of Shinsuke Nakamura going against one Fergal Devitt. Really, really good back and forth through the match. You know, at one point Nakamura, he was taken out by Priest leading into the commercial break. And now while there was good back and forth, you could tell Nakamura, he was pretty much kind of leading the pace and the flow of it if you watched closely enough with a sharp enough eye. But, man, this was a fucking good match. This was probably hands down match of the fucking night. This was a damn good match. It came to an end when Priest wound up pulling Finn out before Nakamura could hit a Kinshasa. Then Shin, he winds up going after Priest, throws him up against the Timekeeper's barricade, hits him with a couple kicks, throws him over it, starts screaming and yelling at him. Then Balor, boom, hits him, starts going at him, then gets him in the ring, and then hits the coup de grace, 1, 2, 3. So your winner is Finn Balor. Next up, we got Raquel Rodriguez going against Sonya Deville, but the big story behind this is when Liv Morgan is, much like I said last week, they said Liv Morgan is injured, so she's no longer, so the tag titles had to be vacated. They also briefly mentioned that Dakota Kai also was injured during the said match as well. They believe it's a torn ACL, which I really hope that's not the case. But either way, they said Raquel's going to have a partner for a fatal four-way with Raquel and her partner going against Ronda and Shayna, Chelsea and Sonya, and then Bailey. It was booked to be Bailey and Kai, but most likely now it's going to be Bailey and Io. But either way. So Sonya really starting off hot right up at and was leading the pace all the way till the end, basically. I'm sorry, I'm trying to spaced out for a moment there. We don't hide our fuck-ups on this show, folks. Sonya, she was leading hot and heavy right up until the end when she went to had Raquel up into a corner, went to go do a running attack or charged attack. Then Raquel just put her boot up, got her, then did the corkscrew senton, then got her, hit her with the Tahana Bomb, 1, 2, 3. Afterwards, it was a post-match attack, beat down on her, 2-on-1. Then Shotzi's music played, she came out, helped clear the ring, and then told Raquel, no, come on. Open it up. So Raquel, she got on the ropes, held it up, and then Shotzi, boom, shot out like a fucking bullet. And then they announced Shotzi's going to be her partner. Now, I know a lot of people are saying, well, Shotzi's SmackDown. How can she be there for the and tag partner for, well, okay. If you want to try to apply logic to an illogical situation like this, one could make the argument, since it's the tag titles and they're not brand specific, they can bounce either or. There's technically nothing saying that one competitor from Raw and one competitor from SmackDown could be champions. Case in point, Bianca is on SmackDown and she's the Raw champ, and Rhea is on Raw and she's the SmackDown champ. But hey, who am I to say? Like I said, let's not try to apply logic to an illogical situation such as pro wrestling. Moving forward, next up we got Dominik Mysterio going against Apollo Crews, and this came to be because this came to be because Apollo, he was getting an interview, then Dominik and Rhea came over. Whoa, this is supposed to be mommy's time. Well, I'm sorry. I don't think you got the proper run sheet. It's scheduled for Apollo. Then there was some back and forth, and then how about we settle this in the ring kind of talk. So as far as the match went, Crews, he was leading early on. Dom wound up picking it up during midway through the match. It was decent enough. It was a decent match. I dug it. It came to an end when when Dom, he was down on the outside, Rhea sandwiched herself in between Crews to keep him from getting to her, and then Crews eventually wound up getting to work around, and then Dominik threw Apollo Crews into the steps, got back into the ring, had the ref distracted, and then Rhea threw Crews into the ring post. Ref was doing count, got up to 9, and then Crews literally slid in and was just dead in the water. And as he was dead, just as he slid in, Dominik jumped, caught him with a frog splash, 1, 2, 3. So your winner is Dominik. That had to be the coolest finish I have seen Dominik do yet. So now we come to main event of the night. Imperium going against Matt Riddle, Kevin Owens, and Sami Zayn. Really, I gotta say, there was a nice start. Riddle, he was the punching bag for a bit. Then KO got in, and then Sami got the inevitable final hot tag. Really good action all around, I gotta say. I thoroughly enjoyed this. I thought it was a good match. And honestly, given the way that they played it into last week, into this week, I thought it was good continuity going from last week into this one. Now, match came to an end when Sami wound up hitting a haluva kick and then tagged in Owens, and then Owens from the top hit a senton onto Giovanni Vinci. Riddle wound up tossing Gunther over the announcer table, and Kaiser got decked and got stunned earlier, so that's why neither of them were able to come in to run interference. And then the 1, 2, 3, that is it. Stick a fork in them. They are done. Your winners, Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, and Matt Riddle. And with that said, folks, that is it for this week's show. So please don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, go back and watch some of the other episodes when you can. Look for me on the Twitter at TimVicious. Thank you to my executive producer, LeRae, who did provide the music for this week's show. Check it out on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, SoundCloud, all that good shit. Details on there. Also, thank you to contributor of the show, LFC Legendary Fighting Championship. There are a little bit of wrestling, a little bit of MMA, and a whole lot of attractive women, and a little bit of nothing. Also, folks, don't forget to check out whatevernew.net for some vicious rants apparel. Help support the show. We're getting closer and closer to an AC. Thank you for that. And folks, don't forget to follow these cool ass guys already on the Twitter. Kenny, Killer Diaz, _ID, Diabolical Sergeant Curry Pants, and dubs in your face. But folks, like I always tell you, you know me great.
Long as you're not in that function, we can break bread, lunch.